say people come from far, far, far away to find their dreams, chasing down these meteors and comets called dreams in the sky of life.
Yo, what's Gucci, everybody? It's your boy, SJK Dot, the first Black Super Saiyan to arrive on this planet, and I'm back here with another stream. What's good, guys? I'm starting a couple minutes earlier than usual. Anzo is supposed to be joining. Danny from Comic Check might be joining. Maybe Bosco is scenario he might be joining. But we are going to talk about Prey. Hold on, guys. Give me a minute. Yeah. So, the last Predator movie I seen, the last Predator movie we all seen, watched. Some of you probably didn't because that box office was really low. Some of you probably watched it on streaming or watched it later, for free, however you want to. That movie was horrible. It was pretty bad. It was a joke. It was a big old comedy. Honestly, took the franchise in the direction that was very silly, dumb. Predators trying to take the genes and DNA of other people and use them to improve their own bodies and make them physically superior to other people by taking the genes of other people and mixing them with themselves. And in the movie, they thought a boy with autism was peak human intelligence or whatever in the movie, and somehow autism is like peak. The Predators was, we need this autistic boy. He's just so amazing. He can read alien language somehow, when that didn't make any sense or whatever. But Predators 2018 was not a good movie. That was bad. I wish they originally went with the previous script for Predators 2018. The only Predator movies I really like is Predators 1. Predator 2 is fine. It's fine. It's super fine. That's it. And Predators 2010 is another one of my favorites. Now, you guys are wondering, what do I think about Prey? I think Prey was very solid. I think it was solid. It was nothing mind-blowing. Predators 2018 could have been that. Oh, and also what they need to do is they need to make it clear what this timeline is. Like, if the AVP movies are canon, because I don't know if they're canon. So I can't really put those in here. The only ones I know that are canon is obviously Predator 1, 2, Predators, that trash 2018 movie, and Prey. Prey is a prequel. It's a prequel set before the first movie. It is about the Predator's first hunt on Earth, right? It's Predator's very first hunt on Earth in general. The species, that's what was being marketed. In my opinion, they should have called this movie Predator First Hunt. I don't think you should have called it something like Prey. I mean, I understand why they called it Prey, but in each movie, everyone is the prey of predators. I understand wanted to really play on that, but you should just call it Predator First Hunt simply because of marketing and marketing the name out there. And I really think this movie should have dropped in theaters. Like, this movie was good enough to be in a theater, So I think Disney really dropped the ball by not releasing this movie in theaters. Especially if they watched this movie themselves, they would have seen like, yo, we need to put this in theaters, at least make some cha-ching off of this. Because people are loving it. They're talking about it. They like it. But I still think they should have called this movie Predator First Hunt, just for the sake of marketing. Because it doesn't make sense to call this movie Prey, right? If this franchise had a better track record, you can start doing these random names that don't really tie to it. The only way you'll know this movie is connected to Predators is if you see the poster. You like search up Prey. The only thing you'll see is the poster, because there's a bunch of other IPs called Prey. There's not that many IPs with the name Predator in it, That's why I would say you call it Predator First Hunt. Let me get these comments real quick and I will continue. What's up, Movie Leaks? He said it was. Yeah, Prey is dope. What up, Arkham Gaming? K-Dot's Fire, living the dream. Living dream, baby. Eating grapes and shit. Got my water, my agua. Best of my opinion about Prey. Felt pretty average. Did Disney Raccoon the Predator franchise? Yeah, it's a solid movie. So let's get into it. We might as well spoil it. I mean, let's spoil it. Let's hear you.
All right, cool.
I didn't get into spoiling the movie yet. Right now I'm just talking about the track record of the movies. I've talked about the titles specifically.
Okay.
I do not think this movie should have been called Prey. I think it should have been called Predator First Hunt, simply for the sake of marketing. You know, it's like the Birds of Prey situation. How they called it Birds of Prey, but the movie was not about the Birds of Prey. It's actually about Harley Quinn. Right. But even though I understand the title, you know, in each Predator movie, everyone is a prey. The humans we follow, their prey. But I think just for the sake of it, because its IP doesn't have a good marketable track record in the recent years, so I think they was better off calling it Predator First Hunt. You know,
Mm-hmm.
It's a lot more accurate to what the film is, since this is the first hunt.
So you're saying that the title was misleading?
And I'm not saying the title is misleading. The title does make sense in the context of the movie, but just for the sake of like, all right, let's say, you know, I was like, hey Bosco, you check out Prey, and you're like, what's that? And I have to explain to you what it is. Or if I say, yo, Bosco, you seen Predator First Hunt? Like, oh, a Predator movie? What?
All right, I get what you're saying.
Yeah, it's that type of thing. Because there's a video game series called Prey. There's other IP called Prey. There's not that many IP with the name Predator in it.
Right.
So when you hear Predator, you're gonna know, oh, you're talking about the Predator franchise. Got it.
Mm.
But other than that, I thought the movie was good. There's only two Predator movies I like really in this franchise. It's Predators 2010 and the first Predator. I don't think this is better than the first one, but it does. I'll say this: it doesn't do what Predators 2018 doesn't do. All this wild stuff. It plays it safe as it should, and does something a little bit slightly different from the first to differentiate itself. For example, the Predator, the Yautja we're following, is a very inexperienced hunter. He's a good hunter, but he's very inexperienced. Unlike the Predator from the first movie, he doesn't really stalk his enemies. He likes to go up front and confront them.
Right.
You know, like we had that scene in the movie where he literally walked up on that guy and, you know, wanted him to shoot him in the head so the bullet can bounce off and hit him in the face. But in the original Predators, I remember the scene when Arnold was trying to get the Predator to come up, like, you know, what was he saying? He was like, kill me, do it now. We was trying to get him to come do that.
Yeah.
And the Predator was like,
that was pretty good, actually, with your impersonation of him. That was pretty nice. Get to the chopper.
But the Predator was like, you think I'm stupid? I'm not finna come and fall in your trap. I'm not an idiot. But that's why I like the difference in it, because, you know, this Predator.
Yeah, it seemed like it was a more prehistoric, like a less evolved Predator, right? At that time, from everything it had of armory, right?
Right.
It did not have the laser. It was an arrow.
Yep. It lacked a bunch of armor too. I think the only armor it wore was its helmet that can defend itself. And for me personally, I don't think this is going to be the one that eventually evolves into the Predators we see now. Just like in Predators 2010, I think this is just a different clan in subspecies of the Predators. Right. That's what I think. I think it just could be one from a different clan that's a little bit more primitive, but at the moment they're all like still using primitive means while they're still advanced compared to us.
I wonder if it's like a process, like you earn the armor at almost like a Mandalorian, right?
Yeah.
You earn the armor parts as you develop your hunts. You know, the type of hunts you come back with.
Well, so basically, from what I remember from the Dark Horse comics, I'm not sure how canon those are, but the way they break down the lore, and that's why they need to confirm if the AVP movies are canon, because in the lore, the way Yautja are basically get ranked is if if they get their first kill of anything, they rank up. If they want to get their laser, they need to kill a xenomorph in close quarters combat. They can't use speed. They can't use any long range weapons. They got to use their blade, kill the xenomorph, and you can earn your lasers.
Right.
So it's that's why I say I don't know if the alien stuff is canon, because if you go to Prometheus, that stuff kind of retcon things. Because in AVP, the predators made the xenomorph and breed them to do this, to hunt, so they can hunt them.
Right. That's the one with the temple, right?
Yeah.
You see that temple? Yeah.
But movie was solid. Our main character, Naru, I thought she was cool. I liked her. What did you think about the main character?
You know what? Given what time of history this was taking place of, right? And was it Comanche? What's the tribe?
Comanche.
Comanche, yeah. The Comanche were known to having some warrior women in their tribe because they were nomadic, right? So a lot of times the women were left behind. So many of them developed defending skills. So the fact that they kept to that was pretty neat. And that whole lure really, it's something that personally I enjoy watching, like homages and nods to, history, right?
Yes.
They're native to those lands. So my hat goes off to that. It was well done. Not precisely like historically correct certain things. They were nomadic. They interact with the French. Not a lot. They haven't really. But the main character herself, it made it believable.
Yes.
It wasn't over exaggerated what she did, where you can say, oh, she didn't go there and flip the alien over or anything like that. You know what I mean? So they kept it real, and that's what I liked about this movie. The fact that it wasn't I'm not gonna say that word. I'm not gonna say that W word, but it wasn't over exaggerated where the woman was made greater by mutilating the predator.
She wasn't doing no impossible shit like punching the predator in the face and he just knocks back and falls down.
Exactly.
The way she had to fight was probably ways I would do. Like, I'm going to stay away from this guy and just run, attack, and keep moving, because I can't fight him fight him head up.
Yeah, exactly.
Because she's physically not as adept, and also it's kind of dumb to fight these things at close quarters. Now, someone like the brother was able to do so because he's far more trained. He's far more trained to do that. When it comes to going up with these things physically.
That was a crazy scene.
Oh, that
the brother.
I love the choreography in that scene. That he was barely in the movie, but damn, he got his moment, and that was dope. He got his moment.
And it also looked like the pioneers were actually hunting the predator.
Yeah, they was in they didn't really know. They didn't really show how they caught on to the predator, because they kind of glossed over that. But when they started hunting the buffalo, because at first I thought it was a predator, but when Naru found the cigar, and it's like it was people, and then you have that parallel later where the predator does the same thing as her. He comes to investigate the buffalo. Yeah, looks at the cigar.
Right.
I wish they showed like how the French happened across the predator's trail, because it doesn't seem like he hunted that many things on the planet so far. I'm not saying he didn't, but so far he hunted a snake, a wolf, a bear.
Because the French at that time, right? Because I think you even see snow. So I'm wondering if this was really brought up more to the upper East Coast, where the French colonies were placed, like here in Quebec, right? That the French were actually had a good part of that eastern coast. And I'm asking myself, is that really, they were fur traders, so were they really there for that specifically, and they came across them by accident? Because they were known to kill million animals for their fur, because that was the way of surviving the winters, right? As well, and it was the fur trade.
Right, and it was also I don't know, and I don't know how deep it was because this took place in 1718 or 15, one of those years.
17. Oh, the gun had a date on it. Remember when they tossed the gun to the?
Yeah, it has 1718 on it.
Okay, so that's probably a timestamp on that.
So, and at this time, also because the thing with the buffalo, and I looked into it, the reason the French was also doing it too was because in Native American culture, they use every part of the buffalo, like they use everything. They don't waste none of it. And when they left the buffalo like that, it's also a sign of intimidation. They don't waste putting fear,
right.
Disrespecting the culture. It's like disrespecting their way of life, trying to tear them down just a little bit. And also they're trying to get the fur too, which was obvious. They left all the meat and just kept that fur. But I like that they, because what I was thinking, like, oh shoot, they're about to end up bringing a predator in here, and then this girl and the predator are gonna somehow team up to fight the French and stuff. But nah, they didn't do that. The predator was not there to make alliances. He was there to hunt. He took him out, and the action sequence with him and the French traders, dope.
Mm-hmm. It was good.
I was just like, dang, I want more of this. The choreography was so good. The choreography and the person who's in the suit, in the predator suit, mm-hmm. And I love that the predator suits are still practical. I love that they're still practical, and they're staying true to that art form with these predator movies. That person did a great job in the suit. Good mannerisms, he gave the predator some personality.
Yeah. I love the cinematics. Like, a lot of people are saying it was slow. It was slow, like the progression of it, but it was all setting up the stage what was to come, right?
Yeah.
So it was slow, but yet it still kept me into it because the cinematics, the way it was filmed, like you see the landscaping and everything.
Yeah.
The tribe, all that was well done.
It was, and I said it earlier, it was honestly good enough to put in theaters. Like the way they shot it.
Ooh, really?
I understand why they didn't put in theaters, because they looked at how the previous movies have done.
Right.
And they haven't done well at all, like box office wise. And it was like, you know what? Let's just, someone wants to do this little passion project, and the director did a good job. Yeah. Someone's do a passion project. Let's let them put it on Hulu. We have a good original. Let's see how that goes. I think now that after seeing the success of this, they're kind of like, okay, now we can start putting these back in theaters and, start to trust in this IP. But I think it was good enough to put in theaters. The runtime of it was pretty short, so I think they could have made some real good money off of it with how short the runtime was, because it's only an hour 35 minutes.
Yeah. Do you honestly think it would do? I don't think it would have done well in theaters.
At most, 400 mil. It's not going over 500.
They played it safe, like you said. They played it safe by putting it out.
I think that's what you had to do, because Predators 2018 tried to do something so different, which I was kind of interested in, but they did it in like a bad way. Like they're setting up these predators trying to come invade the earth and stuff, and I'm like, that's not even the MO of the Predators. They're just here to hunt,
right?
And they're here to hunt.
It's like a championship. They're there to compete to the strongest, being that's on the planet, right?
Yeah, and then they, started adding in, like, they take DNA of other species and puts them inside them. They got super predators and stuff.
Right.
It was just unnecessary stuff that didn't need to be there, because in the previous script for that movie, Predators 2018, they had a script where some of their technology gets stolen by some humans, and I think two predators work together for a common means to take out this company that has these weapons, and also something personal with the humans too. It would have been kind of like AVP, how the black girl was working with the predator to kill off the xenomorphs and get out to that temple.
Yeah, man, I haven't seen that in so long.
Yeah, But I thought this film was dope. Now another thing, an issue I had, and I understand why they did this. You know, just like the first movie, you got to follow the trope. You got to keep hiding, or Predator 1 and 2 in 2010. You got to keep hiding the Predator. You can't really show him. You got to keep hiding him and stuff. It was just, I like this Predator, but I mean, they have an honor code, but I'm like, dude, you're fighting a wolf and you're still hiding yourself. You're fighting a little tiny ass wolf that he knew he can kill in one hit, and he has to still hide himself. I understand they're hiding themselves for the audience, but personally, it would have been cool if they just had him show himself when he fought the bear, fought the wolf, because he went head up with the bear. He didn't try to hide away and shoot it from afar. He went head up with that bear, and that bear was fucking his ass up.
Man, I gotta say that freaking beaver house was freaking strong. The one she freaking swam into, and the freaking bear couldn't get to her. I was like, that man, those beavers can definitely make a home, man. That was insane.
Hey man, hey, that's what the beavers. Hey, those beavers have one job, you know, blocking off that water and making a dam.
Yeah,
they know what's up. There's some great engineers.
Yeah, definitely. But yeah, man, the action scene was good. I liked it. I liked the fighting in it. Like you said, I think the best fight was I like the brother in the final fighting scene. And I'm telling you, man, the hero of this whole movie is the dog. I'm telling you that right now.
Hey, that dog came in clutch.
That dog, if it didn't bring here that axe, and I'm gonna try and. My dad has an axe similar to that at home in his country house. I'm gonna tie a rope to that. And I'm gonna start trying to throw it to a tree and see if that shit works, man.
And you know what? This is why, if you notice in the movie, a lot of, and this is why I say Naru was a more versatile hunter than everybody else. She wasn't the best at like one specific way of hunting, but she was versatile when it came to knowing how to heal herself.
Yeah. Well, that's usually what it was, right? The women were the healers.
Right.
Their tasks were to learn all the herbs and all that in order to heal. So she had that extra,
versatility.
Yeah.
And also, one of the guys one of her people from her tribe made fun of her for having, basically putting a leash on her tomahawk, and he was basically roasting her about it. But I was like, you know what? It's kind of smart. Have it come right back to you, instead of having run all the way over there to the makes it more convenient.
Right. And not only that fighting scene, right? Remember, are we going spoilers now or not?
Oh yeah, we're
okay.
deep spoilers.
All right, so basically that scene where the brother has those guys come and get her to bring her back home, and she fights them. The fact that she got punched in the face, dead on.
Yeah.
In this movie, I have to give my hat down to Disney, man. It's an R-rated movie, and the woman got punched in the face by a dude in today's world. I have to say that's big. I don't know how you feel about it, but to portray that on film, that was.
I mean, they don't do that in a lot of MCU movies now.
They don't.
They don't. We don't see Wanda get punched in the face and stuff. No. Yeah, hopefully we do. We don't see it. We need to see it.
When I saw that, I was like, oh damn, this is all right. I'm like, all right, because we all know back in those days, a lot of
and this is why I say, like, yes, women, specifically in America, Canada, and certain parts of the world, women have a lot more rights and freedoms than usual. While yes, there's still oppression of women that's still exists.
I'm not down with that.
But back then, it was far worse. And in Naru's case, she was living at the time where women specifically were born and raised into a specific role. While yes, the men was to be the hunters and gatherers, but they had more leeway.
And you saw it there, right? You saw it when she was going back out there, how the women were looking at her as she was walking out, right? They were moving their camp, and they were all giving her this look.
And even her mom didn't believe in her. Her mom was starting to become discouraged because she's like, "Yo, you're not bringing in really anything. Your brother's bringing in stuff. Like, just be a woman. You know, stop trying to be like the men. Just be a woman." And I like that she still wanted to prove herself, prove a point when she came back with the Predator's head at the end of the film. And I think that was a good sequence on how they set it up. How she, and in a different way of not having a Predator spot her, they used something different. They used that herb. And when she saw how it worked on that poacher with that had his leg cut off, it's like, oh, he didn't see him. That was also funny. That was also a funny scene for me too when he stepped on the dude's leg.
Now going back to those guys, right? Since I'm from French Quebec, right? French Canada.
Yeah.
They're freaking French. A lot of those actors were like crap, dude. The way they were talking French. The main guy had an accent that you can tell he wasn't French at all. Yeah. I was picking up on that. But did you have the subtitles of what they were saying in English when you guys watched it?
I watched it in Comanche, right? And whatever they were saying in French was like dubbed in French. It wasn't dubbed in English.
Exactly. So,
but I think
I remember talking to Danny, right? He goes, "Yeah, man, those Danny and I were talking comment chat. We were talking by chat, and he goes to me, "How did you like it?" I'm like, "It was okay." I'm like, "But those French actors they got were crap." And he goes, "I didn't understand fuck." So I was like, "Wasn't it in subtitles?" And then I think you're right. It was subtitled, like whatever they would speak, it was just in French.
It was, and this is what I think. I think they didn't have them talking so much in the movie for a reason, and also the way the director explained it with how if you watch in English, we're watching it in English where it's understandable for us, but they're speaking their Comanche language. So whenever Naru hears them speaking French, she's just gonna hear French, right?
Right.
But I just watched it in Comanche because it made more sense to watch the movie that way, and it makes more sense why, from a film perspective, like the artistic perspective. Okay, our main character is Comanche. Let's have these people speak French, but she's not going to know what they're saying, so I should do that for the audience too. Right?
All right. So basically, when we heard it in English, her English was actually just for us. It wasn't that she was speaking in English; she was speaking in.
Yeah, and I don't even. And me personally, with the English, I don't know what they're trying to do, but they should just have them talk as if they were struggling with their English. I think it should have been, because it would have made sense with the time and stuff, especially. You don't know how many explorers was here at the time. This is we're in the 1700s and stuff. Some natives probably knew English, but their English was not good.
Right.
Then
they should have done like the movie Apocalypto. Did you ever watch that movie?
Yes.
That it was all in that. I think it was all in that Aztecan or Mayan language. The whole movie. There was no English whatsoever. They should have done that.
Yeah, it would have been very artistic and something. You sticking to your guns of the culture. The movie is the majority of the people in this movie are Native Americans.
Yeah,
this is all Native cast.
Correct.
Just stick to it and do it. This isn't my first time watching a film in another language and reading subtitles. It really doesn't bother me.
Why, you watch anime, right? Don't you watch the anime in Japanese?
Yep. Just watching its original language.
Yeah, no, I really enjoyed it, man. I watched it twice. The first time, actually 2.5, because the first time I watched it, I came back from New York State and I was dead tired from all the driving and I passed out.
Yeah.
So I watched it the second time. I watched it again fully, and then I watched it again, just skipping through it. And I have to say, man, I did enjoy this. I have to give this a solid. I gave it initially a 7 out of 10. I think I can give it a good 8 out of 10. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, personally, I can give it an 8. 8 is the highest I'm going to go. Personally, I would probably watch this over the first Predator, but the first Predator to me is still better.
All right, so I'll ask you this one: out of the following, Predator, Predator 2, Predators, and The Predator, and Prey, which one? How would you rank those 5?
For me, I'm gonna have to go Predator, and that's dead last. That's like dead last on the list.
I would have to go Predator, Prey, Predator 2, Predators, then The Predator. Yeah.
solid list. Honestly, for me, it's interchangeable with Predators and Prey. But like I said, I have a top three, and my top three is first Predator, Prey, and Predators. It's just with this franchise, they should keep it. Keep following this formula.
Mm-hmm.
Always do a different cast of people, set it in different time periods. That's the beauty of what you can do with this. You have so many where they have it established. So this is the first time Predators come to Earth, 1700s to 2000s. You have so many years in between where you can do multiple stories, make multiple movies. Not saying you need to make a gang of movies, 50, 70 of them, but
I actually saw someone tweet out something about the Predator coming back in Japan and during the samurai era and fighting that guy that was in in The Last Samurai as well.
That would be dope. And honestly, then they only have to say this is the first Predator on the planet, right?
Yeah, supposedly, right? That's what's supposed to be.
Yeah, like we're watching a first hunt of a Predator, obviously. Like this Predator in this movie, this is his first hunt.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not to say that this is the first time they come to this planet.
Correct.
No, you can say they came before, but they were still just as primitive.
Right. We'll remember the end credits, right? Did you see the end credits?
Yeah, and they showed more ships coming down.
Yeah, the animation, right, showed more ships coming. So who knows? Is this going to be a whole Prey series? It's not going to be called Predator. It's going to be called Prey. Prey 1, Prey 2.
I would like to see a direct
new
sequel.
IP. Yeah.
I would like to see a direct sequel because the Predator in 2 had that same gun that Naru has. That's a huge gap in between. That gun is going to travel all over the place. I would like to see where that gun ends up from her, and we see if it does end up with that same Predator, the Elder Predator, and they,
Right, you're saying that gun is in every movie?
It's in 2.
Really?
So it's the one Danny Glover gets. That's the same gun. What they did was they retconned the comic that gun is the origin of that gun. So in the comic, there was a pirate captain that was running from his crew. He had that gun, and a predator was hunting him. And him and the predator was about to get into a battle while he was running from his crew. And they both ended up working together and teamed up to fight off the crew so they can have their duel.
Okay.
And then the pirate captain got shot in the back. The predator killed the dude for shooting the pirate captain. Pirate captain fell in his arms, and the pirate captain gave him his gun as, like a peace offering, like, like an offering, just basically.
Okay. And the gun was dated 1715. Yeah. Rafael Andolini, 1715.
Right, and maybe it is still the pirate's gun. I don't know, because just because his poacher had it doesn't mean that it was his original gun.
Correct. Yep.
So that comic could still be canon. I don't know, but it could be possibly. Yeah. It was good, Barack Obama.
Yeah. Cool. I like the way they like took things from the first movie, like her in the mud next to the branches, how it looked like Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Right, a bunch of callbacks, because like the way Arnold figured it out was honestly, and it's not to say that it's by chance or luck. It's just like you fall into one of those situations where you do something and it ends up being something that helps you out later, but you don't know it yet. For example, her with the plant, right? Mm-hmm. She didn't know ahead of time that, hey, they can only see in infrared. They can't see things that are cold. And when she saw that he couldn't see the person, she was like, oh, the thing I gave him must have did something to keep him from seeing them. And the way Arnold figured out was when he fell in the mud, he stayed close to the tree. He's like, oh, he can't see me. That's why I like. It's not like they knew ahead of time the Predator's weaknesses. They stumbled across them like most people would in some of these situations and stuff. Like, you just don't know this stuff. You end up figuring it out. Sure, it can be by chance or luck, but this is the only way you're going to figure out something like this. And I like that they applied it later. Yep. Tony asked a question. He said, Dawson Boss. So what do you think about people downplaying Naru's skills?
You know what? I've been one of those people once in a while being too hardcore about it, about those things. But like I said earlier, I think it was done very well. It wasn't exaggerated whatsoever. And you know what? There's always going to be people that are going to hate. That's why I always say, watch the movie, come up with your own conclusions. If you like it and I didn't like it, that's great, man. I'm glad people enjoy things that I don't enjoy. That's the beauty about movies, right? They're made for certain people in certain markets,
right?
So just not everybody's gonna be happy. Just don't fall into that vicious circle of getting into freaking arguments with them, because they're set on their ways.
That's why I remember in the first and second movie, Danny Glover wasn't fit like Arnold, but he had his fair share of getting his ass kicked by this Predator too. Mm-hmm. Arnold Schwarzenegger, when he fought the Predator at the end of the movie, when the Predator wanted to do honorable combat and go hand to hand, Arnold was struggling. He had to resort to using his traps and stuff to get back to taking out the Predator. That's what Naru did. Mm-hmm. Naru, I don't think she once tried to punch the Predator. Yeah, she jumped on his back and was stabbing it, but she didn't even try to run up and punch it. She knew that she was not strong enough physically to go head up with this thing, and all she could do was run, hide, and strike. And at the end, she used his own weapon against him.
Smart girl.
Now, just a little downside, just a little critique, small critique.
Which is?
It was funny that the Predator did not realize his laser was like that. He knows the lasers, the needles go where the lasers go. But I think
try to deke it.
Right, but personally, I think it was this. Because before there's a time before the needle spins, and I guess he assumed just because she's so close that the needle will go right through her.
Right.
And was hoping it would stop or whatever. I don't know, but it was just kind of weird that he, was not taking into account his own weapon.
Yeah. You know what my nitpick was? Hey, you're gonna laugh. So the point where they're hunting the deer?
Yeah.
Her and the dog? Well, there's a moment where you see the breeze, right? And the breeze is coming from behind her. Technically, when you hunt deer, the breeze is coming towards your face because the deer can smell you coming if the breeze is coming from your back. So I was like, right, this is not accurate.
Because you have to hunt up. You have to hunt upwind, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, you don't hunt downwind.
So that was my nitpick. I was like, oh, this is not accurate.
Hey, wait. Yeah, she never got the deer. Well, at least she didn't get the deer. It was showing her lack of nothing her lack of skills, but that she wasn't exactly perfect.
Man, that dog didn't even get a scratch besides getting in that freaking trap there. He got his
I wonder how his tail triggered that trap too. You gotta put some pressure on them traps to trigger them.
Yeah.
I mean, if you drop like a feather on it, it's not going to get triggered. The dog tails are almost like feathers.
Did it sit down on it? Maybe.
Would you guys want another period piece of our modern day film?
Another period. I would like another period. Yeah.
You can do something in Civil War. You can do something in the Civil War, and it's like multiple hunters, like three of them. Three young blooded predators trying to become blooded. That's when if they get their first kill, they can move up a rank.
Man, imagine him in a gladiator during Rome during the gladiator era when they had the arenas.
Yeah, honestly,
are you not entertained?
Yeah, I would like to see another period piece. I think a period piece for this would be good, because yes, in the other movies, it's either they're a police officer or a military, someone in the military, mercenaries and stuff, with all this high tech weaponry. Kind of dial it back a bit. Show us how people and people with primitive tools was able to fend off these predators. Because as we see, not every predator's hunt is successful. We never seen a successful predator hunt in any of these movies. Like a predator actually win. That's something I do want to see. I want to see a movie where a predator wins.
You know what? Should have Predator come modern age and Top Gun Tom Cruise in it, fighting him with a jet pilot.
Right. Or honestly, and we'll end it in a bit on this. I think they should do a movie from like the perspective of the Predator and have him on another planet with like not humans, but another alien species. There hasn't been xenomorphs, but another alien species. Have them hunt them, and you're following their perspective, and they can be totally outmatched. And the Predator is in the situation of the human. He has to do what he has to do something like Arnold and stuff. He has to really use the environment and use tools, craft traps to take out this enemy that they're dealing with.
The Predator. He's not a predator.
He's now the prey.
He's now the prey. Like you've never seen him before. Yeah. That'd be actually pretty kind of cool.
Bosco, is there any last things you wanted to say on this film?
No, you know what? I enjoyed it. If you haven't seen it yet, it's definitely worth a check out and come up with your own conclusion. But I say this was a solid movie. 8 out of 10 for me. I bumped it up a notch.
Yeah, guys, I'm gonna co-sign Bosco's grade. I'm gonna go 8 out of 10. I thought this movie was solid. Minor issues, but I thought it was solid. Thank you all for watching. This was a solid review. Thanks for coming in, Bosco.
I'm sorry I was late.
You want to promote your channel real quick? Let the people know what you got coming.
Yeah, man. The Basco Scenario is my channel. I got some gaming clips here and there. I also have a show on every Wednesday called The Hangout at 8 p.m. Eastern. I have Danny Comic Chat as my co-host on that show. Usual Suspects, where we talk about pretty much what we just spoke about here and other stuff. So definitely check us out. And thank you for having me, man.
Got it. You guys go check out the Bosco Scenario. We're about to head up out of here. Thank you all for watching. Goes for that peace, love, positivity, and all that jazz. Don't do drugs. Like I always say, deuces.